then this is the master slide of why deep learning is required. If we did not have deep learning, if we were to do machine learning of any of the problems earlier, classification, regression, clustering, association, if you were to do that for a conventional image, I will show you an example. If all of you have internet, you can look at that also. There is a site called UCI. Now you see here, this is a classical classification problem of whether a ulcer or some kind of a lump form is cancerous or malignant. But what is raw data? Image, right? That's the X-ray image. But see the pain you have to go through if you were to use plain machine learning. What do you have to do? You have to create data like this. What is the data you're creating? What is the radius? Mean of distance of center points to the point of the mirror. What is grayscale texture? What is the smoothness? What is the compactness? What is the concaveness? These are all basically derived data from an expert who is looking at the image, doing some calculations, and then deriving a X value. So you have how many? Some 10 different real values, substituting the actual image. For one X-ray, you will have these values substituted by the experts and put there. Then you run your linear regression or logistic regression. What is logistic regression? Takes input data and output is 1 of the 0, 1 class. Gives a classification or a decision tree. Fair enough? But is this easy to do? Raw data is image and your actual work is classification. So what is the pain in this? Can you tell me what is the pain in doing such a thing at a production scale? What is the pain in doing such a thing repeatedly? For every cancer classification, what is the pain? You have to have experts who can take the raw data, start interpreting, create these derived columns, and then apply the machine learning algorithm. Don't you agree that it's a very cumbersome process? What do you think? So this is exactly the process which is followed conventionally in machine learning. And this is what is also the limitation of conventional machine learning. For every unstructured data you have to work with, you have to create these kind of derived data from the original unstructured data and then feed it into your classification or regression or the clustering. This is a classification. This is the natural way you want to work with. You always want to convert that to something which still may not be the best representation of whatever data is contained in the original image. Do you see the dichotomy? So now, what is the answer? This step is what has been the process followed conventionally. You take unstructured data, derive features which are going to represent the actual features in the data. And these are proxies for the original data, right? Because you cannot work with the original image itself. Same way, if you take say things like spam detection, you similarly create features from text data based on some frequency or some common words or some kind of part of speech. Different features you try to extract. So what are those? These are called features. What is features? Features is an approximation of the original input data, but derived from the original data as an approximation of representation of the original. Then you run a machine learning to understand what is the equation. But this phenomenon is called feature engineering. Feature engineering means you take raw data, which is probably structured or unstructured, derive features from there before feeding input to the actual machine learning. Is it something which is something you want to persist? Yes or no? Can it be possible that I can avoid this step and still do classification as diagnosis or benign by directly labeling an image? Don't you think that would be great? If I can directly take an image, label it, is it benign or is it malignant? And then, given a new image, I should automatically be able to tell whether it is benign or malignant without having to go through this feature engineering step. Don't you think that is magic? You understand what I'm talking about? I'm talking about earlier, you take an image, you derive these features, then label it. Is it benign or malignant? Take every image, do this conversion to what is the values corresponding to each of these 10, and then give an output variable, benign or malignant. That's the way you collect your input data. Then what the machine learning problem will give you? A classifier which will classify, given these 10 input values, it will say whether it is malignant or benign. But then for any new image, you have to take that and convert it to these features and then pass it to the algorithm to understand whether it is benign or malignant. But now I am giving you an alternative. I will give you only the image, you label it benign or malignant. Do it for 1,000 images. Then I will run my classifier. Let's assume it's a plagiar. But when I get a new image, it will automatically tell me whether it is malignant or benign without having to go through this feature. And that is what is deep learning.
But then also it will consider some features to categorize them.
That's exactly what happens in. So what deep learning does is, it automatically extracts features from the unstructured data, which is implicated in form of a hierarchy of layers in a structure called as a neural network. So, if you see, this is a classic example. I have written something known as meeting at 4 p.m. as an image. At the lowermost layer, it will detect something like there are these edges. Then these edges will form what is known as strokes. These strokes will form something known as characters. From characters, we'll say there is a temporal concept. From there, we'll say there is some abstract concept called a meeting time confirmation. So I have derived this thing into these 5 layers of information where every layer is made successively higher concept from a next lower layer. And this is something which I don't do any manual intervention. This is automatically extracted from the bunch of images it has been given. Suppose it's been given a lot of images about meeting times or some combinations of numbers and timings. Thousands of images they will give. It will try to create this hierarchical model of layers which are equivalent to or better probably than by manually creating features which was considered as a proxy for. So now you see what is the role of deep learning.